Defense will have sufficient time between now and the time for trial to be able to get it enhanced, to be able to do whatever they need to do with the video to show the court that particular position. My position simply was that you cannot come before the court and argue before the court and give what I explained to the chief magistrate was third party hearsay, because you're telling the court that your client told you that some expert said nothing was put in an affidavit. This was not put before the preliminary inquiry in the proper manner, because he could have submitted the necessary affidavits in that manner. And so that was my point this morning, that even if the court were to have entertained the argument itself, it had to be properly before the court. And it was not properly before the court, because we don't know which expert you're talking to. We don't know anything. We don't even know if you actually had an expert look at the video under the circumstances. But like I said, they will have ample opportunity to do all of that before the High Court.
That was the prosecutor in Belize, and she is prosecuting this ex-policeman right here. So, believe it or not, his name is ELMER. Na is his last name, and Elmer is his first. Now, me I'll talk a little bit about that boy here. One of the most dangerous and baddest police in a Belize, if not in the Caribbean. The little Spanish China looking Belizean police boy. I have to big up the prosecutor, and this is Belize Paula Llewellyn. She is standing up against these super police criminals. You understand? Cause remember me tell you, it look like she don't even have bodyguard and them thing there. And this lady, she is the only one right now, because it seems like the police them afraid of them criminal, yeah, because of the pull with them up. So yo, my hat's off to Belize Paula Llewellyn, yo. Let's go.
It's countryman again. Just I lick you with some wisdom, and I lick you with some knowledge. You gotta take inside your brain. It's a son, I've learned a lot out of reading people's faces. No matter how them are going, like them original, them fake. You gotta know when to walk and know when to run and know when to fall and know when to stand.
Now, who's ELMER? ELMER is a police officer, and his uncle, the man in the army outfit on the left, was a big time soup inside the Belize police force. When I say big time, this man was big time. He was like an assistant commissioner, and he set up a lot of the special forces, cause you know the Belize, them every little island police have them special forces who tackle this, tackle that. Now, his uncle also is married to the head prosecutor, and I heard they had a little bit of problem before, but I think they're still married. So ELMER was really connected. Now, this police guy is a real bottom feeder. From day one, he was a troublemaker, and he was voted to become the most corrupted police in Belize. Listen to this.
First heard the name ELMER when he was just a young constable 19 years ago, and he incurred the wrath of then Inspector Chester Williams.
And Inspector Williams reportedly ordered Constable Na to leave the office, and when he refused, a corporal and sergeant removed Na from the office and threw him into a detention cell. Inspector Chester Williams, who took 20-year-old Constable ELMER Na to court for slashing the tire on his police issue, that is, green Ford Escort. Na pleaded not guilty to damage to property and he was released on $1,000 bail.
Now that video was self-explanatory because you see what he did. After the chief talked to him, the inspector, he went out and slashed the inspector car. And the inspector take him to court. And that was 20 years ago. And he was still able to remain under Belize police force.
Garrido believed that the officer may have been involved in his disappearance and subsequent murder.
I need justice for my son. They not broke me, they make me stronger. Anybody out there will kill my son, now I know that he dead. I aware of everything. But you know something? The pain, the hurt, everything make me stronger for my son. I want the death for my son. I want bury and thank God for that. I find the body and I want carry on hope. But this is just the beginning. Because I know I sleep. I need justice for my son and I need the police to do their job. I don't care who they out there, Mr. Chester, whosoever, I need answers.
No, when you hear that, when you hear mommy a rat, you understand? She a rat, you know. She a rat. Cause she say, the man kill her son. And she want justice for her son. And she a call out Chester Williams, that are the police commissioner. And him come out and make a speech, but people forget facts and this and that. But listen, him knows that the Belize police force corrupt, and him know you have corrupt policeman. I'm not gonna say him corrupt at all, but them need to set some things like in the common certain things in them system. And in some ways, Chester Williams give favoritism to the police then because he made ELMER still stay upon the police force, even though he was a superintendent and not the police chief. But ELMER cut him tires from him first come in, and them still give him a blight. And 20 years later, look where ELMER involved in drugs, this, that, all sort of blood clot thing that. So, yo, me I go say, him is a police sympathizer, and in some kind of way you can't expect any better from him because he's a chief of police. Let's go.
It was to be a night of celebration for the Ramnare's family to bring in 2023. But Saturday night ended in bloodshed with the callous and calculated execution of brothers John and David Ramnare's in Belmopan. The siblings were socializing at John's residence, awaiting the arrival of several other family members and friends when a lone gunman entered the yard. The carnage began on the front lawn, where the gunman opened fire on John and David. The suspect then entered John's home, where his wife, Vivian Ramnare's, and David's common-law wife, Yemi Alberto, were seeking cover. They too were targeted. Information to News 5 is that Vivian Ramnare's was shot as many as 6 times.
And now he's accused of double murder and attempted murder. But yesterday at his arraignment, he insisted that the man in the video is not him and that he is being wrongfully accused.
Wrongfully accused! Elmer, wrongfully accused, brother!
Time will tell if Mr. Na has gotten a very bad rap, or if he is, as the police now claim, the baddest of the bad apples.
Now that was his latest rendezvous with the law in, I said 2022, but it was actually New Year's night, I think, New Year's morning, 2023. Now, with this guy, he has been protected by his uncle, Vidal. And like I said, Vidal married the chief prosecutor, the director of public prosecution, DPP. Now, this guy mix up in a whole heap more things. I want you to listen to this.
in a new unit, the hard-charging GSU. We saw them in April of 2011 honing their paramilitary techniques, and by August of that year, in that infamous raid on the George Street neighborhood, Naz's name was the one being called the most.
Grab me up, put me on the ground and stamp me on my head back. See a Spanish one I call now.
This is when not do my illegal a station. A station. Oh, the hang is station.
One of the biggest things that puzzle me about ELMER, how come the Belize Police Department kept this guy on the payroll? And it is clear to me that it was to pull off his uncle, because his uncle was a big timer, still a big timer down there in Belize, and this guy was able to bob and weave his way through killing blood-clad people, be doing all sort of despicable and nefarious activity. Wanna see me showing up the double murder when they on the video. Now in history, now stop right there, so. I want to listen to this again, yo. It's kinda crazy, but it just goes to show the level of corruption and indiscipline that is in Belize and Belize Police Department. Listen to this. I think one of the biggest problems that Belize, St. Lucia, and certain other places have, they need a separate body to investigate the police department like Indicom. Jamaica and Trinidad is way ahead of these other countries, but I think Belize need something like Indicom.
He's seen here acting as a personal bodyguard to Vidal's wife, DPP Sherilyn Vidal, in the Danny Mason trial. Eventually, Na ended up as a key member of ACP Marco Vidal's Commander of Operations Strike Team, COST, a unit with a broad tasking, operating from border to border but under the radar. This mother alleged that as part of that COST team, he was somehow involved in the kidnapping of her son, Rafael Garrido, who was later found murdered.
Well, a red car approached him where a policeman was inside the vehicle. That was when they took him.
Right there, a mother accused him, say him come, drag away her son, and kill her son. No, all of them things, you know, the police boy, we look like a white man to rascal, look like he mixed with Chinese and Indian and all sort of sitting. Definitely white privilege. Him come and take away the woman's son, and the woman's son disappear, and them find the woman's son dead. And then the chief, I call him court jester, him a run up in big stinking bumbleclot mouth a talk about this and that, until finally the boy a kill the two brother them and shoot up the man them wife New Year's morning, dog. Big pussy.
More added to this most explosive one, made by Constable Michelle Brown in 2020, who was charged for the murder of Farid Ahmad.
Brown said that she heard one of the vehicle's back doors open, and she heard the sound of a firearms safety being disengaged. She claims that a third person, whose voice she recognized as a police officer, entered the backseat. Brown's testimony became emotional at this point, and she claims that the officer spoke up and said, quote, "Then now then," end quote. She claims that the officer pointed the firearm to the back of her head, and she heard the gun snapped twice. The officer allegedly then pointed it at Farid's head and pulled the trigger. Nas said that on that night he went home to Coney Drive, where he remained with his uncle, Senior Superintendent Marco Vidal, for the rest of the night. Corporal Nas said,
Now, only here what just happened there, so. the police lady, she get charged to kill a man, you know. A man. But she said, I know she who pulled the shot at the boy ELMER now. Now, the police chief, court jester, for some reason, he was always ignoring ELMER name when it called or justifying it by quoting the law. And like the police chief, court jester, him is a lawyer, very, very brilliant man. You understand? He's not no pick up and drop off police boy. Very, very intelligent and has been in the police force for a long time. But I figure the police chief was keeping this guy on because of loyalty to Mark Vidal. Now, when him uncle did move him to the Nether Special Police Force Unit, listen to where the man dropping a dog. That boy, remember me tell you, when you talk about bad apple and the baddest and the rottenest apple in the bunch, but I want to listen to this.
Plane landed on a southern highway in Bladen Village, and these weapons and vehicles were found. Members of the strike team were accused of facilitating the landing, and Corporal ELMER now was arrested a few days later, charged for, among other things, conspiracy to land a plane at an aerodrome without permission from the ministry.
When you hear that, after him uncle put him in the special crew with the broad powers, it's like a federal police. The man and some of the man policeman them direct a drug plane dog. You understand? For land in a Belize. And for some reason them end up get catch with you see them at the department, guns, bullets, vests, and I think 11 police officers got arrested for that. And that case is still going on. Now, I cannot understand under the love of Christ, how can you have a policeman like this running rogue and wild through Belize? And if they didn't catch him on video in that double murder, this policeman would have still their road at the pure fuckery. He must also have paid hitman. That police boy, he will do anything for money. He will kill him own family. He will kill anybody, do anything. And he was constantly backed by his uncle and the corrupt system. You understand? Now, I hope as Belize move forward, them can able to fix the situation, because ELMER is not the only rogue police. There is more rogue police we're going to talk about, and the criminals them and certain things that's going on in Belize. But for now, me did want to highlight a police boy. Dangerous boy, them call him ELMER. That's his name. Listen, my name is Countryman. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on another video. I'm out.